Hey guys, it's James Barbour, Thrive Thursday night. I am starting the live stream just a couple minutes early. I've got my Los Angeles Rams hat on. I got the whole gear. I'm excited. Of course, I'm in New York, and the Rams are finally back in Los Angeles. Kind of crazy. Tonight, I want to talk about patterns and control. Patterns and control. I'm going to wait a couple seconds to get some more folks on. And see what you do. Hey Steph, how are you? Good to see you. All right, patterns and control. So, in life we have patterns that we regularly do. We get up, we get a shower, we brush our teeth, whatever order that you're doing them in, right? And we also have control. And some people look at control in a bad way. But there's good control and there's bad control. So here's an example of bad control. You're driving your car down the street, you let go of the steering wheel, and the car crashes into a side rail. That's bad control. Here's an example of good control. Good control would be you're driving your car down the highway, and you're staying in the lane, and you make it home safely. So that also works with other things, not just mechanical things. It works with family, it works with what you're doing in your work. Again, I'm looking this way because I'm walking. What you're doing in your work. So you can have good control and bad control, right? Another example would be, what do you eat? Well, I eat like crap. I eat sugar. That's bad control. I have bad control over the type of food that I eat, right? I have good control. I have what people call willpower. When I look at food or I look at things in my life that I say, gosh, I wish I could change that. I think about how that little thing, like let's say it's sugar or bread or an action that I'm doing that I want to change in life, like I'm not getting enough sleep. And I think about the fact that that little thing has control over me. And how weak must I be as a person to let that little tiny piece of sugar, that little piece of candy, control me, right? So you have to think about that in terms of the patterns that we're going to talk about. And what do I mean by patterns? What I mean by patterns are things that you do that are successful and not successful to make your life better. So if you're going to make your life better, you need to do things that are forwarding a successful action in your life. Such as, for me, it's getting enough sleep so that I can be rested enough to do my show and do my job. It also affects my voice. If I don't get enough sleep and I don't eat right and I don't drink enough water, I'm not able to fully function at the top of my game for what I do, right? So what are patterns in your life? Start thinking about patterns in your life that you like and that are contributing to your successful actions in your life, your career, your personal life. And then start thinking of patterns that are not contributing to the successful actions that you want to have, to the successful life that you want to have. Look at that. I have to stop you guys. See this? It's not lipstick. Well, it is lipstick, but it's from the show. I don't wear lipstick in the show, but when they paint the makeup on, you can see it sticks. It's like stays on me. I'm like branded with a red dye. So getting back to the point, find the things that are successful for you and write them down. Literally write them down. When you go, oh my gosh, that works. And you keep doing that. Successful actions promote successful actions. And then if something happens and you go, wow, well, that didn't work, write that down. And don't repeat it. And try not to repeat it. And how do you not repeat it? By putting in good control on your life, right? You put in good control on your life. So here's another example of something. Do you ever have people around you that are kind of negative, but you think they're positive, but they're negative? They're like, wow, I've talked about this before. Like, wow, you did really great tonight, except for that one thing. But that wasn't really important, the little thing. Well, a friend or somebody who is in support of you is not even going to mention that one little thing that probably nobody else noticed. If you're a performer or if you're at work, and something dropped on the floor and you dropped it, negative people are going to point out negative things. So you have to think about those kind of patterns as well. Gossip and talking about people and all the other crap that goes with the life that we live. Yeah, I like the little thumbs up things. I like those, right? Cut all that out. Even if you do it, cut it out. And look, we're all human. We do it. Everybody does it. We talk about somebody, we're like, oh, I can't believe blah, blah, blah did this. The more we cut that out of our lives, the better our lives are going to be, because we're perpetuating successful actions, successful positive actions toward the positive outcome that you want to have. So those are your lessons for this week. Lessons, like I'm a teacher. Those are my challenges for you this week. To write down the successful actions that you take every day so that you can actually achieve the things that you want to achieve. And write down the negative things, the not successful actions. Sorry, it's windy, I'm going to turn this way. The not successful actions that happen every day, so that you can remove those from your life and put in good control. Somebody said, shouldn't we welcome criticism? You know what? There's a difference between critique and criticism. Criticism is, hey, you know what? I'm your director. This is the program or this is the show that we're working on, okay? The director and the creative team have that. Let me ask you this. Every single person that comes to the show, we talked about this a couple days, like last week with Usain Bolt. Every single person that comes to whatever you're doing is going to have an opinion about what you're doing. And if we're in a Broadway show, 1,600 people a night in my case, right? Do we start to listen to every single person that says, I would do that different, I would do this different, I would do that differently? When I've got Hal Prince, Andrew Lloyd Webber, Cameron McIntosh, I mean, I've got those people who created the show focusing on what we're working on as a group. So criticism and critique are two different things. I enjoy critique. I enjoy working toward a betterment of something. But if somebody comes in, and I'm going to give you a strict example of this, okay? I was working on a workshop of a show, and there it was all our performers, right? And we got into the room and we were waiting to start the rehearsal. And somebody who was an actor in the group came in and was like, oh my God, did you see such and such last night? That show was so horrible, and da-da-da-da. And just started going on about the show that they had seen. And I don't put that into my life, and that doesn't come into any of my work environments. I was talking to my dresser Andrew tonight. If that stuff comes into my business and into my production company, I handle it. And if it doesn't handle, the person's gone. There's no question. They're gone. Because I don't want that in my environment. So I eventually went up to this person and I said, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you just not, it's like the negative stuff doesn't really float with me. I said, can we just not have that in the room? And the person's like, oh my God, but it was a horrible show. It was so horrible and blah, 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 blah. And I finally said, hey, did you know people in the show? And the person said, yeah, I did. And I said, and they're good friends of yours? Yeah, oh yeah, no, they're a really good friend of mine. And I said, let me ask you this. Do you think your friend wants their show to be successful? Well, yeah. And wouldn't you want your friend to support you if they're coming to your show? Even if it's not great. And look, there are some pieces of art that people don't like, that are not good, right? That close. But the thing is the effort that's put forth. Everybody wants their work to be good. So I finally said to the guy, listen, if you're a friend, just don't talk negatively. Support him. Support the person. You know, be true, be honest. But there's no reason to, degrade somebody and degrade what they're doing. They're actually trying to do a good job. And the person went, okay, wow. But it was really horrible. And he kept going. So I just finally said, get out of the room. And I did. I just get out of the room. Ironically enough, that person didn't end up being, some friend, right? That person didn't end up in the production that I was working on. I had no control. That wasn't my control. That's what happens. People tend to show their colors. So criticism and critique, two very different things. If I'm sitting there with a student actor, or I'm working on a scene with one of my fellow actors in a show, we sit down and we work together with the director and with the writer to figure out what is the best thing that we're going to present. That to me is critique. Critique from people that we accept, that want our product in our lives, whether you're an accountant, a teacher, whatever it is. My mother was a teacher. They used to come in and do evaluations, and they would sit and watch teachers teach a class. Negativity is toxic. And so they would sit and watch the teachers teach a class. And then they would have conferences afterwards saying, wow, this was great. And you know what, here, there might have been a breakdown in communication with the students, so let's work on how that can work. That to me is good critique. So I'm glad you brought that up, because criticism and critique are two different things. So I hope I handled that. Anyway, guys, I'm going to end up signing off here. Look at that. There's the Hudson River. But I want you to think about this for this week, right? Think about the patterns that you're doing. Write down the good stuff. The stuff that's working for you, write it down. The stuff that's not working for you, write it down. And if you're finding other people in your lives and in your immediate circle are saying, hey, you know what? Don't do this, don't do that. Find those things, write them down, right? Write them down. And then use your good control and think about good control versus bad control in your life to implement those things that work and implement the good control to remove those things that don't. Don't eat the sugar. Stay strong. Hey guys, thanks so much. Thrive Thursdays. If you haven't done so, go to the website, jamesbarbour.com, and sign up for the newsletter. We're going to have a lot of fun. I should tell you this, I've got 3 new projects that are coming. 2 are films that I'm going to be producing, and one is actually 4, a documentary. And then I'm working on a really cool idea for a series with some great people. So keep your eyes peeled for those. I always love new ideas and all that kind of stuff. You guys are awesome. Have a great, great week. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching. Bye. Bye, guys.